Hello and welcome to another edition of Paydirt Remote. I'm Dominic Piper, editor of Paydirt. Today I'm joined by David Southam, Managing Director of Mincor Resources. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pretty remarkable week for everybody, but for Mincor in particular, because with perfect timing, you've released a DFS for the restart of your Kambalda operations this week. And surprisingly enough, given the global market conditions, that was really well received. Personally, what pleased you most about the DFS numbers?
I think actually getting the DFS out on time, whilst all these noise is going on in the background. And when we look at it, it's been a journey. If I look on that past 14 months, we've bought the long asset of Independence Group. We cut a new offtake agreement with BHP and a processing agreement and completely changed how Mincor used to operate. We have grown Cassini significantly, and that's really a game changer. So we talk about a restart. It's really restarting Mincor as an operator, but Cassini is obviously a brand new discovery and the first discovery in Kambalda in 20 years. So that's been particularly pleasing. So then being able to update that with a new ore reserve and to pull that together whilst raising some money at the market to support us, and we've certainly changed our register. When you add all of that up with then coming up with an operating plan and a DFS that is significantly robust from an economic perspective, it's pleasing to actually get it out. Did we envisage we'd be putting out in a COVID-19 environment? No. Did we want to put it out in this type of environment? No. But if we want to meet our promise that we get it out by the end of the March quarter, yes. And that's what we've done.
Yeah, it's a remarkable effort to turn around the company in that short space of time. You did mention that Cassini is a game changer for the company and for Kambalda as a whole. I mean, it's essentially a greenfields discovery in a very brownfields environment. You've consolidated the region now with the acquisition of Long, and could there be more out there, more discoveries like Cassini now that you've got it as one line package?
Oh, look, I think there are discoveries to be made, but companies need to spend money on greenfields exploration. If you use Kambalda as an analogy, there's a district that's pumped out over 1 million tonnes of nickel in its history. But when you look at the greenfields expenditure since Western Mining divested those assets, it was before Cassini less than $12 million over 20 years in greenfields because it was all mine extensions. So if you do spend the money, there are definitely opportunities. It's a fertile area, but you are seeing other potential discoveries as well.
Yeah, Cassini itself. I mean, most of the ore bodies in Kambalda have started small and gone on to bigger and better things. I know you like to draw the comparison to Ottajuan as well on your property. Is Cassini showing signs that it could grow substantially in the years to come?
Oh, well, certainly. Look, the comparison to Otter is probably self-serving in that that is probably one of the biggest ore bodies in Kambalda. In fact, it is. It was started out as a 17,000 tonne nickel resource before it was mined, and it ended up producing 317,000 tonnes. So that's a clear standout. I know the slide that you're referring to in our corporate presentation, and that keeps us JORC compliant, which is very important. But what it does show is when you get into a discovery in Kambalda, given that these are old komatiite lava channels, you can't drill them out completely from surface, and they do tend to grow. And at a minimum, what we've shown is they grow by double once you start mining. And we're sitting at 50,400 tonnes of nickel in mineral resource.
Your register's suddenly getting very interesting. Andrew Forrest Squadron Resources are on there. IGO's taken a fairly sizable chunk. All those heavy hitters on the register, is that distracting when you're trying to put together a development project?
Sounds like a leading question almost, Dominic. No, it's not. If you get distracted by imagining things that may or may not be there, you can't get our DFS out on time.
Yeah, good answer. The market is the market has obviously been slowed by the coronavirus pandemic. But most analysts have suggested that the EV related nickel boom might be a couple of years away anyway. Do you feel it's a major setback what we're currently experiencing for the nickel market, or do you think it can recover quickly?
I think with coronavirus, it is dangerous to forecast anything. It just evolves on a daily basis. All of our staff in Kambalda are local, and then obviously we have a small presence here in Perth. So we're able to spatially distance ourselves very well, and manage everything in line with the government regulations. But we're not impacted by flights. In terms of the nickel market, we're a story for beyond 2021-22. And if you look at any research, that's when you start to see the inflection for nickel. If it's delayed by 6 months because of this, or even a year, it doesn't really impact us so much. Ultimately, the product that we sell will go to BHP, and BHP are looking to produce nickel sulfate.
David, thank you very much. Congratulations again on the DFS, and hopefully we'll see you out on the ground soon and out on the circuit as soon as this pandemic passes and you can get out and start encouraging investors to support the stock. Thanks very much for your time.
No problems, and don't forget that 98% IRR on the DFS.